Alrighty then, folks. Hello there, and welcome back to some more SD Gundam G Generations Genesis. This is actually the second time I've tried to record this. I got about a third of the way through the video, and the game crashed. Well, my recording software made the game crash. Because my recording software crashed, and that killed the game. I looked in the logs, I was very pissed off. But we are back! So, I didn't do any dispatches in between this. Well, I did one, technically. With the main people. I've been thinking about it, and before, because of my work schedule, I was doing like 4 or 5 a day, then playing the game. We were getting a whole new set of suits every episode, which is cool, and I really enjoyed it. But at the rate we're going, we're 8 missions in, and I'm already 30% way through the game. If this game is like 62 stages, or 65 or whatever, that would mean we'd be done by episode 18. We'd have everything, so it'd just be the same thing. So I'm going to lay off that for a little while. I'm actually going to show, or I'm going to use some of the suits for a couple of episodes instead of just one. Though right now, we could get the Gyujin up. I threw some modifications on the overflag because it was being slow. Yeah, so now it has 8 movement instead of 5. Or 9 movement even. It does have a negative mobility though. So I threw on a stealth system, which will hopefully cover for that. That being said, I am going to switch over to the Shenlong, because the Shenlong is basically built for the IBO campaign. All physical attacks, except for one special attack. Like, that's great. We could also get the Exia repaired if we wanted to. I did in the other one, and I wasn't really interested, so we're not going to do that. The 5th form of Barbie, we could get the 6th form if we wanted to. The only downside is the 6th form doesn't have the reactive armor, which, I mean, we've already seen it technically, so I guess we'll go over 6th form so we can go and get Lupus next. And we can finish up the Barbie line. Besides that, did we upgrade anyone else? I thought about upgrading this, but I didn't. I threw that armor upgrade on the Gazoot, which I think we're going to move this up to the Zuot. And then from the Zuot, we'll figure out something to do with it. Or actually, we'll go Zuot to Zuot back to the Gazoot, so we unlock the Gazoot. Because I guess I traded for this one and I didn't buy it? I don't remember, though. Yeah, I think that's the only thing we did. Yeah. Alright. Oh, I had to sell the entirety of the capture bay because we actually ran out of space. Yeah, you can fill this thing up. I had no idea. But yeah, so now we have a little over 1 million money. And probably by the end of the week, we'll have 2 million monies. But yeah. Oh, real quick. Oh. Run that. Vidar. Without Vidar taking any damage, we'll try for that one. Oh, and we have to get Mika to high morale. That'll be fun. Oh, and we just have to clear the stage. Yeah. Those are all the same ones as before. But yes, we are on the Ultra Mega Chicken fight. It already tells you what it is. It's Hashmal. But yeah. We will finally get to use the Ultra Mega Chicken. And we gotta hope that Vidar can dodge.
ラスタルエセブンスターズの一角エディオン家当主にしてギャラルホルン内最大規模の戦力艦隊を誇る月外縁機動統合艦隊アリアンロッド総司令
Okay, so you remember the moon in this world has been broken in half. They defend half of that. And they're also probably the most powerful fleet. Oh, they are the most powerful fleet.
モンタークの仮面を捨て鉄火団へ正式に協力を要請
Yeah, Rustle is a hard-score conservative.
しかしこの行動が敵の策を呼ぶこととなる
Or he might have been conservative and we don't really know because his politics kind of change after episode 13 for reasons.
アーブラウ代表まかない東郷之助を狙った爆弾テロ
Yeah, so the whole Arbrow arc of the first season gets glossed over.
地球エドモントンで発生したこの事件を皮切りにして ネズミが潮を引くように事態は悪化。経済圏同士初となる SAU とアーブラウの武力紛争が勃発した。
And the SAU is, I believe, Strategic American Union, or it might be South American Union, but I think that's more of the African Union's
全ては
thing.
マクギリスの権威失墜を狙うラスタル陣営の企てだった。だが紛争は火星より駆けつけた鉄火団の増援により収束し、両経済圏が和平調停を受け入れたことで終結。これによりマクギリスの立場は揺らぐことがなかったが、1ヶ月以上にも及んだ膠着状態の末に鉄火団は多くの団員を失い、
Maybe it would
結
have
果
been, maybe it would have
鉄
been
火
cool
団
to
地球支
show
部
us
は
that.
地球からの撤退を余儀なくされた。
She takes a 10-second break there, and I keep talking to it. I've done it twice now. But, so they just gloss over this battle, and then the actual battle is kind of like, why? But, yeah, Yamagi gets hurt, Astone, which is one of the brewer's kids,
そして
gets killed, and then Akihiro goes back to Earth and absolutely murders the guy
暴
who
略
does it.
巡り
It's really
新たな
cool,
火種が
but
世界を焦が
they
す
don't
中、
care.
その目
Yeah.
テイワズから鉄火団に譲渡された新ハーフメタル採掘場。そこに無数のモビルワーカーもどきと大型機械が発掘された。再生のデータベースにも該当しない薬剤線の異物。鉄火団はこの機械の情報解析をマクギリスに依頼する。そして部隊は再び火星の地へと戻っていく。
So the first time I had seen this, I was like, oh look, they're beam sabers. They aren't beam sabers.
人の殺戮を欲する無慈悲な天使に人の思惑など通じない。奴は静かに蘇る時を待ち続けていた。
Yes, the angels want to kill people and the demons want to save people from the angels. It's allegory. For someone who doesn't quite understand allegory. But demons are edgy, damn it. So we get an overview of what happens on Earth, but Rustal and McGill is talking to each other? Sweet. Remember that Rustal has Vidar. He knows everything. Apparently everyone on the council knows about his dad's tastes. Yeah. The first time through I was kind of a little pissed off because it's like, yeah, we don't see the cool
目覚
battle
めし
that,
薬剤。
you know, builds up Akihiro, but we get to find out about McGill's backstory, which was literally just there for shock factor. There is something to be said that it kind of amped up his hero worship and thinking that heroes were actually heroes and not just, you know, normal people. But, you know, I'm just complaining about things. It's fine. But we'll talk about that when it comes up in 2 missions time. But yeah, if you remember, Derma was one of the boys that they saved from the Brewers. So, him being put back into the roadie with all the stuff that had happened to him. Chad's the leader of the party, and then Dante and Derma are in there. So she knows alone, except for she knows about to get an upgrade. And then I believe Ride takes over the Ryusei. And how much firepower we're stockpiling? Remember that the Dawn Corps had like 56 roadies or something like that? And we stole 6 of them? So, yeah, they had like 50 roadies. We definitely need more than, 9. But yes, we found the Floros. Or I believe he's the demon of intellect? Or no, he's the hunter demon. And he also can turn into a leopard. That's why the Floros has that weird transformation that it only ever used once and they never, mention ever again. That being said, though, it proves that Bandai's getting a little bit off of the we're just here to sell toys act, which is kind of nice. Yes, they finally brought it up. Agnika Kairu. The man who formed Gjallerhorn. He was just a good pilot, that's it. In this Shades of Grey scumbag world, he was a good dude. Do we ever get to see anything about it, learn anything more besides, what he did in his suit? No. He was just a good guy, though. They would rule Mars as kings. I actually crossed my eyes when I said kings. I had to do it. But yeah, and they don't mean kings. You guys would be like a ruling council. Orga might be a king, but it doesn't really work that way. Can't have multiple kings in the same country. That's Principe. Slightly different. That being said, if I was in charge of that and they were to actually succeed, I'd actually put Cadelia on the throne, and make a pseudo revolution or a pseudo nation under Cadelia, with just having Tekadon run the military, the police force, and enforcement of everything, and create like a fascist sub-government underneath the government. It would work. And so, you don't think he acknowledged Vidar's skills in piloting as well? Hmm? I believe he's referring to Ein. Kanjo. I mean, I guess technically you could leave Tewas and then just, you know, have formal relationships with them. And, you know, pay them for their services and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he was mentioning that this would give them legitimacy. This wouldn't actually give them legitimacy. It would lower Gjallerhorn's legitimacy. Because legitimacy has to be earned by those of your peers, not by yourself. By just having the power, you don't have legitimacy. They would have to get the support of the 4 economic blocks. Because yeah, they could get Gjallerhorn's approval, but they'd be acting as a leg of Gjallerhorn, basically, even if they had a different name. And thus, Gjallerhorn's approval doesn't mean much. So the way they would have to get legitimacy is to get agreements with the 4 nations. Now, Cherry/Arbrow would probably do it immediately. But the SAU hates them, the Oceania hates them, and likely, what, the African Union doesn't care? The African Union's so, like, corrupt and bloated, it's kind of crazy. That's why I put my game there, it's a lot of fun. But, the Oceania was where they rescued, Marakai from, which he was one of their political pieces. But since he got taken out from under them, they don't like Tekadon, and in some places they don't like Tewas either. Then again, everyone has to work with Tewas, so it is what it is. I do really like how Jansla still tries to look like a pimp, but doesn't quite understand it. Like one of those dude who has the cow print pimp suits. It's like, you can't really look serious with something like that. Seppuku. He will disembowel himself. Because remember, this isn't totally a Japanese Yakuza or anything. They're the Mafia.
Honto, お前といると飽きねえな。
兄貴、
Is
すいま
that,
せん。
is that Aniki?
何謝ってんだ。家族のためにてめえで決めたことだろ
そうですが、兄貴に迷惑を。
これまでも散々かけてきただろうが、今さら首相になるんじゃねえ。
けど、
ここからは背中にも気をつけないとね。
ああ、手言わずの幹部連中の考えは一つじゃねえ。何か仕掛けてくると思っておいた方がいい。俺が。
はい。
笑って許してやれんのはこれが最後だ。俺に親父は裏切れねえぞ。
はい。
I honestly wonder if they're gonna blow over the turbine stuff or not. I don't know how they would do that, like, in an actual battle. It'd be kind of weird. He wants to become a better pilot, so he pledged himself to Mika. And Mika doesn't give a shit. Hey, more flirting between two characters who... Oh yeah, that's all it goes. Never mind. Yeah, they're together now, yay! God, I want to kill your fleet so bad and steal your ship. Ooh, Vidar. Oh, I have a profile, or I have a thumbnail pic for this. So the name Vidar, I believe, is based off of a Norse story, similar to Gjallerhorn and all that kind of stuff. Unlike the normal Gundams, which are named after demons from the Ars Godia. I forget what Vidar is specifically. It's like, I think it was like something to do with giants or something like that. Similar to how the dance life is also named after a Norse thing, so you know it has to be part of Gjallarhorn. I'd love if they would tell us why everything is like Norse-based or, you know, named after demons or angels or anything like that. Huh, I wonder if we'd know who that would be. Yeah, remember of the young people, Ride is the only one left. Well, the only one of the originals left, I should say. Because everyone else died when they were getting, you know, shelled during Edmonton. So I remember we killed Coral like 2 years ago now. And then there's this guy who recently just took over. We don't actually know who is in control in the in-between period. But, you know, how I usually characterized him as being kind of incompetent and pretty corrupt. He just didn't give a shit about what was going on at the planet at the time. Which allowed a lot more of like black market and gray market businesses to start up and expand out. Yeah, in my tabletop game, there was a massive, like, blood sport coliseum, literally right outside of one of the space elevators in Copernicus, the capital of the African Union territory. It's just, like, literally right out there. And, you know, 2-3 times a week, you'd actually see the commander of Gjallerhorn there. But hey, we're fighting Gildas! And we got Idiok and his railgun. Remember what I was talking about last episode about having, about how they were converted for military use, or from military use to civilian use? Yeah, as it turns out, they're basically the same either way. So with a crowbar and a gun to put spikes into the side of a colony, you know, they can be pretty dangerous. $17. $12.
さあ、お前の待ち望んでいた戦場だ。
For vengeance! Can we defeat at least 6 enemies in the same turn? Yeah, He also can't take any damage in this. Oh. Should probably have shown you that. We'll get there in a moment. These are standard type Gildas. They have a crowbar and a wire gun. And yeah, I think we've already unlocked them actually. Anyway, we'll move you down to here. Oh, are you guys in a raid group together? Ooh, you are. Cool.
Gundam Vidal. 出る。
Okay, so we're gonna damage all of these guys, and then we're gonna kill all 6 of them in the same turn, once they're all sufficiently damaged. Actually got hit. You just said you'd never hit me. There's no grays, boys. No grays.
ここでやられていては。
Damn it. Nice. God damn it. Alright, I'll get it on my own then. I almost... I don't know. I think the way you'd get that is you'd actually pull him over to where Juliet is, and then just do a bunch of your damage that way. Yeah. They all pulled up to melee because I didn't move far enough away. Alright, so I think I'm going to pull you to here. You're going to do this with support from her. Assuming none of us miss, we'll be able to get at least 6 kills pretty easily. We're going to leave the really damaged one to last, because that one will have to be killed alone, probably by Juliet. Yep. So that was 2 so far. That only barely worked. Okay, so 3 more. So if we kill this guy, we kill this guy, and you never react. Or no, you did, so... Alright, so that was the challenge. I kind of hate quests based off of like some RNG thing, and you guys know how very little chance I'll actually have to dodge based off of my usual play. Like if it was like don't take any damage at all this whole battle, I just wouldn't do it. Well, that is it, isn't it? Like, I can't take any damage against these guys. Oh, I know what we'd have to do. You'd have to literally go out and dodge everyone. I can see it. So instead of counterattacking at all, you would just dodge. Which, I mean, you could do it, but it would kind of defeat my whole get 6 kills in a row thing. Or on the same turn thing. So that's your final step. You're untouched. You've been hit though, so go here with support from Juliet. Oh yeah, I'll get it on my own and I'll tell you guys what we picked up afterwards. So I think it was just an item, like a gold rank item or something. Targeted quests. Yeah, silver rank, or no, oh. That's actually how we unlock Vidar. Okay. Yeah, that is what it is. Like, I honestly don't care, so... Alright, and from there we go here, here, you know, pile onto this dude. I was kind of hoping for that. Oh, just a support defend. God damn it. I was kind of hoping for that because I wanted to get the more of the capture points for the Wrecking Glaze. Because we're like 2 kills away at most. Maybe 3, but I'm pretty sure it's 2. Yeah, it's 3. We're gonna have like a little sliver back at the end. Orga Shiden. It's a custom one made just for Orga, so, you know, when he gets into mobile suit combat, he'll look cool. Right? Right? It's a freaking unicorn, and I don't know why they put it in. I guess maybe the white because of his hair, but I never saw that as Orga's emblem or anything like that. Yeah, they're facsimiles that look like mobile workers. What could they possibly be? So, my military experience is very, limited. But I know a bit about working with bad things. When somebody you go to tells you to stop immediately, you don't ask why, you just do it. I mean, they might be tricking you, but more than likely they did that for a reason. Just saying. A colossal weapon that killed hundreds of millions and wiped out civilizations. Like France. Screw those French people. A mobile armor. It's like a mobile armor accessory. Yes, the secret. Ultra Mega Chicken is a mobile armor named Hashmal. For whatever reason, they named them after different angels. And as far as we can tell, that means they were set at about 48 mobile armors or so. But in my opinion anyway, they named those mobile armors after their model, not after individual mobile armors, because they're kind of a hive mind or an AI kind of thing. So naming them individually kind of wouldn't make sense, unless each individual mobile armor had an AI and they all acted differently. But if that were the case, then I don't think they would have been as destructive as they were, because at least some of them would probably have exhibited different personalities. But it is what it is. I think that'd be a cool story, though. Like, you find Gjallerhorn was secretly working with a massive AI, and that's how they had built the Gundams, and how Agnika Kaoru had got his, and all that kind of stuff. But, of course, that isn't it. Agnika Kaoru's dad produced the mobile suits, the Gundams, to fight the mobile armors, which mobile suits were already a thing at the time. And yeah, that was about it. Agnika was just a good pilot, and well known because he was a good pilot. So much more you could have done, though. Oh, notice he's green. It's a nice table and chair set. That being said, those are outside chairs. They have rough wood outside, so they're for outside. What in the world is he thinking? You remember, Idioke's father was noble, and his people loved him and everything like that, and yet he was working with Jansly? Yeah, now we find out that the Calamity War wasn't between people. It was between people and mobile armors. Which apparently mobile armors had destroyed most of their civilization before they managed to stop it. So, I hadn't thought that every soldier knew. I thought it was only the higher-ups that knew about it. But that might have been Dan's life that they knew about. The real question, though, is if every soldier knew about it, how did they stop that information from leaking to the public? That's really hard to do. Unless they keep all of their soldiers, like, you know, isolated from everyone else, which, I mean, it's possible, but I don't think Gjallerhorn's that level of organization. I see them more as the corrupt church, or knights of the church, with like the church being the corrupt part, and they're just the knights that follow the corrupt church's orders. Real quick. Yeah. Basically, so who killed most mobile armors was at the top of the 7 families. So who's ever killed the most had the 7 or had the most stars, and thus for the top of the 7 stars. But since no one has them right now, since no one sees mobile armors in 300 years, him killing one would put him in the top position of the organization. That being said, I don't think the other 6 families would care, and I don't think it would work that way. But you know, apparently McGillis was never thinking straight. So half metal basically is able to withstand Ahab reactors, like the waves that Ahab reactors produce, just like flat out. So if you put a shell around something made out of half metal, Ahab reactors won't affect it, and that's how most mobile suits work. They're a giant, except for the cockpit, they're a giant shell with an Ahab reactor in the middle of it. There was some speculation that if the cockpit was open during combat with a mobile suit, that it would shut down because it would let the Ahab waves in, but we don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, so after the war, they completely banned AIs of any version or anything that's mostly automated. So most factories in the IBO world are actually run by hand. They still use heavy machinery, but it all has to have a human operating it, which is good in some ways but bad in others. So there's no like mass construction or anything like that. See, the response to this question would be, holy shit, that's a great idea. It would have destroyed Idioke from the inside, but... Oh, if you guys don't know, the reason why I call him Idioke is it's E-D-I-O-I-O-K, so idiot with a K at the end. Idioke. But you read it in Japanese, because I believe the first person to come up with that was actually a Japanese person. But yeah, just imagine that. It's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I would never have thought of that. We were just gonna, you know, get rid of it to stop it from killing millions of people. So you remember in Zoids, the pterodactyl Zoid? I forget what its exact name is right now, but I'll probably think of it in like 20 minutes. It made that exact same sound, because I'm pretty sure that's King Ghidorah's noise, isn't it? Just like cutting down a little bit and a little bit of interference in there. Notice how they're marked as red? Alright, so we need to get Mika up to high tension before we kill it. And there's foolishness, then there's you. Remember that the centuries ago that was your golden age and you guys are now in a decline? Don't mess with things from the golden age. That's like saying post-World War II America wasn't militant. That's a bad idea. Because back then they would just nuke you because, hey look, we have nukes, let's test them. Nowadays we don't do that. Because, you know, the Tunguska and Zarbomba was very scary. I believe it was 1953 the Soviet Union detonates a nuke that's so big we could test it in America. And also, all the testing apparatus around it melted. It was set at a safe distance away. It still melted. Yep. About to get crushed by some plumas. Apparently there's a way to beat the stage in 2 turns. And you can do it in about 1.5 minutes from the videos I've seen. I haven't watched it straight through though, so I don't know how to do it or what to do it. But you can do it. Absolutely. So they found out something kind of a bit weird about it. The mobile suits that were there, some of the half metal pieces were even missing. Remember, half metal is indestructible. Or at least that's what they believe. I'm also kind of surprised that, you know, Mars doesn't have any birds. Like, you'd assume they would have things like pigeons or something. Like, nobody on Mars ever wanted to, you know, raise birds or anything, and none of them ever escaped. Like, hell, there's parrots all over the place in the southern US because of stuff like that. And they keep killing the native species. It's real bad. And cats kill everything. Do you think there'd be like packs of dogs that would run around, small animals, maybe even like rabbits or deer that got imported, birds? You know, probably in certain areas tigers, because humans never learn. But, oh well, it is what it is. I mean, if you completely control the environment, that works, but Mars is a big place. And completely stopping everyone from accidentally releasing a pair of birds, especially like, you know, 100 or 200 years ago, or even more, since they probably terraformed it beforehand. Yeah, so you find out that mobile armors don't actually run off of Ahab reactors. They either hadn't been exposed to the tech or hadn't been able to integrate it. They do, however, have nanolaminate armor, which is scary and shows that they can adapt, but they don't run off Ahab reactors, which I always found weird. It might be that they could never produce them, and thus they wouldn't equip with one of them. Yep. So the plumas are actually designed to tear things apart and convert them down into the raw resources for the mobile armor to fix itself and to refuel itself. However, you have to assume that mobile armors have some way of producing plumas. We never see it, though. There's also has to be some way for a mobile armor to reproduce or to start creating another mobile armor. So either they would have to, like, infect machinery with a virus or something to start producing it, or only a set amount of them were produced. Which would also be interesting, but, you know, at least in my opinion, makes it a little less fun. Because that means, oh yeah, there's like 6 wandering around in space. There can only ever be 6. So in my version of it, up around the belts around Jupiter, there's actually a massive mobile armor factory that's part spaceship, part mobile armor, that's just gliding around on low power mode, trying to grab enough minerals to produce another mobile armor, or to find enough fuel to regurgitate itself and push itself back towards Earth to get enough of what it needs to create more. But it hasn't been able to do that unless, you know, player interaction. That was one of the possible ends of the campaigns I was thinking. Okay, so the main body can produce plumas. And then, I guess plumas, if they collect enough, can upgrade into even better. Did they mention that? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they don't. But yeah, how I see it is if a pluma collects enough extra stuff, or enough materials, it can actually slowly upgrade itself into a mobile armor. And then there's also the mobile armor factories, and even people trying to use mobile armor technology that slowly infects other things and creates non-mobile armory mobile armors. I don't know if any of you guys are a good enough artist to try to recreate a mobile armor, but if you are, let me know. I might be willing to do a couple of commissions. I got some ideas, you know. A gorge near Charisse. Once they start doing mods, if somebody could break into this game, I'm gonna make one where they, instead of referring it to as the mobile armor or the bird, it's the Ultra Mega Chicken. If you don't know, Ultra Mega Chicken is from Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged. It's the name for the Sky Dragon Raw. They call it Ultra Mega Chicken for some reason, and I love that. No, it's Slifer the Sky Dragon. Or Slifer the executive producer. It was the Wing Dragon Raw, wasn't it? Robbing, you know, the god of the sun. Owie zowie, that's a lot of that's a lot of plumas. Dun dun dun. I was able to scratch it. Like how Juliet even knows more about it than he does. Well, yeah, it has to, kill people. It also has to feed and get raw materials. I'm pretty sure that by agricultural plant, they, produce fuel there or something from corn. Somebody was saying a couple of episodes back that they sell a majority of the corn for cheap fuel. So, I'd view it more as a refinery and collection point for that kind of stuff. Though, there's, 3 other colonies on Mars that we know nothing about. My version of it is, Charisse was always the mine, or the mining area where most of the half metal is found. It's found all over the planet, but in large majorities around here. Oh. It detects AV, too. Yeah, so Charisse is always about the mining. There's another one, there's Copernicus, which is the old school district that's also in charge of maintaining the terraformer machines and keeping the atmosphere and everything working. However, with the recent change in leadership and everything, that's kind of falling apart. And a lot of people are losing their jobs and turning to doing illegal things.